Hello friends, this video on breathing and exchange of gases part 10 is brought to you by examfear.com. No more fear from exam. We will talk about respiratory capacities. Now here we will talk about all these terms: inspiratory capacity, expiratory capacity, functional residual capacity, vital capacity and total lung capacity. So here we are going to talk about what is the ability of a person to inspire, how much maximum he can inspire or how much maximum he can expire. So we are going to talk about the capacities here. So let us see what are each of them. So inspiratory capacity is the total volume of air a person can inspire after a normal respiration. So this is denoted by IC. That is, let us suppose a person already had a normal expiration. That is, he already breathed out normally. But even after that, the person has the ability to breathe out something extra, right? That's what in the previous slide we saw, that the volume of air, the additional volume of air which you can breathe out extra after a normal expiration, that was your IRV. That is inspiratory reserve volume. That is, even after a normal respiration, you can take in that much of extra air. So inspiratory capacity means how much is the capacity of your lung that after a normal expiration, that is after a normal breathing out, you can breathe in how much of maximum. How much maximum can you breathe in? So this we can calculate using our knowledge on the respiratory volumes. So inspiratory capacity would be equal to inspiratory reserve volume. That means the additional volume of air which the person can take in by forceful inspiration, correct? Because if he has already done a normal expiration and again he wants to inspire, right? So when he inspires, so under normal condition, how much he can inspire? That is the total tidal volume. This is the amount of air which he can inspire under normal inspiration. But now it is asking about the capacity. That is how much can he do? So how much maximum can he inspire? So one is by normal inspiration he can take in tidal volume, that much, and by forced inspiration he can take up little more, and that little more or that additional amount is IRV. So the inspiratory capacity of a person is IRV, that is inspiratory reserve volume, plus the tidal volume. So that is inspiratory capacity. Similarly, what is expiratory capacity, EC? This is the total volume of air that a person can expire after a normal inspiration. So you have breathed in normally. Now when you want to breathe out, there are two options. You can breathe out normally or you can breathe out forcefully. Now if you want to calculate your capacity, that how much maximum can you expire, that means under normal condition, how much can you expire? That is tidal volume. Now if you force yourself to expire more and more, so you can expire some additional volume, and that additional volume is expiratory reserve volume. So total expiratory capacity would be equal to expiratory reserve volume plus the tidal volume. Please understand the concept here. Please understand the difference between inspiratory capacity and expiratory reserve volume. Inspiratory and expiratory capacity means that, let us suppose you have breathed in normally. Now during breathing out, how much maximum can you breathe out? So even if you don't force yourself, normally only you can breathe out a volume equal to tidal volume. Now suppose you are forcing yourself so that you can breathe out maximum. So some additional volume also you will breathe out, and that is expiratory reserve volume. So that is how inspiratory capacity and expiratory capacity are calculated. Okay. The third one is functional residual capacity. So this is the volume of air that remains in lungs after a normal expiration. So like it is not a forceful expiration, just a normal expiration. You just normally breathed out. So after that also, a large amount of air is left behind. So that is functional residual capacity, because the amount of air which is left behind, that will define the capacity of the lungs, that how much it can do further. So that is functional residual capacity, FRC. So how will we calculate this? So whatever is remaining inside, because you have done a normal expiration, correct? So what is remaining inside, how do you calculate that? So anyways, we know that after a forceful expiration, if you do a forceful expiration, even after that also something is left behind. And what is that volume? That is residual volume. So residual volume is something which will always remain behind even if you do a forceful expiration, correct? But here in this case you are doing a normal expiration. So when you are doing a normal expiration, that means your ERV is still there. Got my point? Now here you are doing a normal expiration, correct? So that means if you do a forceful expiration, you will be able to give out ERV, that is expiratory reserve volume. But since you are not doing a forceful expiration, that means ERV is still there inside your body. So ERV is still there, and RV, which is the residual volume, has to be there, because RV is always there. This much amount of air will always remain inside your lung, no matter how much forceful expiration you do. So the functional residual capacity will be equal to RV plus ERV. Now see, it is very easy to remember these as formulae, but please do not just memorize them. Try to understand whatever I am explaining. So FRC is functional residual capacity. You normally breathe out. So how much is left over inside? Now inside, even if you breathe out forcefully, residual volume has to be there. So residual volume is there even now. But now you have breathed out normally. That means your expiratory reserve volume is also stored inside. Because if you had breathed out forcefully, that expiratory reserve volume would have come from inside your body. So that is still there in your stock. So FRC is equal to RV plus ERV. The next one is vital capacity. So this is the maximum volume of air a person can breathe in after a forced expiration. So you have given out everything. You have breathed out forcefully. So after this, how much air can you take in? Now in this case, whenever you talk about taking in, let us assume that how much can you take normally. So under normal condition, you can take whatever is your tidal volume. So that tidal volume is there. Now after a forced expiration, you have done a forced expiration means you have already given out ERV, that is expiratory reserve volume. So that also you have given out, correct? So that also you can take in, that is the vital capacity. And also you can do a forced inspiration. Now there is a possibility that after this forced expiration, if you want you can do a normal inspiration. If you want you can do a forced inspiration. Since we want to know the maximum volume, so it is obvious that after forced expiration you will do a forced inspiration. So during forced inspiration you will take in the normal volume, which is tidal volume, plus IRV. So these two you will take under forced inspiration. Now since you already did a forced expiration, so you already gave out ERV. So that ERV also you can take up. So vital capacity would be TV plus ERV plus IRV. And now the last one, that is total lung capacity, which is the volume of air accommodated in lungs at the end of forced inspiration. So you have breathed in forcefully. That means you have taken as much air as possible. So when it is a forced inspiration, so how much would be the total amount of air you have taken in? So that is what we saw here, right? That if you do a forced inspiration, you will take in this much of air. So basically you will take in vital capacity, that is TV plus ERV plus IRV. Now here in this case, we are saying how much air is accommodated in the lungs. But in lungs always some amount of air is always there. And what is that amount? Residual volume. So TLC, that is total lung capacity, would be VC plus RV. Now I am sure that this slide might create a little bit of confusion because all the terms are quite similar. However, I have tried my best to explain you these things. So please, I would request you again, do not memorize, but try to understand how I wrote these formulas, so that you don't actually need to memorize them. You can just understand them and then you can solve questions based on them. So with this, we ended our discussion on respiratory volumes and capacities. So now you see, with so much of data about the respiratory volume and capacity, we can actually get an idea about how much air we are taking in, how much air we actually need, how much air is always there in stock in the lungs, how much we can expire out. So we get a fair idea about how the process of breathing actually happens. So this is all about. Thank you. Please visit www.examfear.com to watch more videos, attempt free online test, get free study material, find tutors and mentors. Thank you once again.